Happy National Basketball Day. It is a beautiful day coming on the backs of a weird day yesterday. Middle of summer day, football drafting season, no baseball on, bad sports watching energy yesterday. Just WNBA and a little MLS there, but we got tons to talk about today. First things first, brand new feature on the platform here, absolute game changer. How spoiled are we that the last couple weeks here we have been given the drafting ability in the active tab, which was a huge one, the ability to toggle ranks and stuff like that. And we got a new entering tool that if you look hard enough, you can find it on the site there. Nez, big day for the auto draft community.
It is. And just the the mass drafters in general. I mean, this is more liquidity, more entries into the daily streets, which is what we always want and always strive for. We're always hashtag trying to make it bigger, and this is one way to indeed make it bigger. And it's huge. Like it's really huge.
Yeah, so for those who haven't been on there yet or haven't seen it, I believe it's not up in the mobile app yet, right? Correct?
Not yet. It is just desktop for now.
Okay, what we are referring to here is if you click on tomorrow's golf here for the Open, you can now enter as many as you want without having to click in, click out, click in, click out. So this is a huge, huge W for really any contest, but in particular, the position list auto draft contest, man, like for NBA, bye-bye button clicker that everybody was using as a Chrome extension, and in comes, it's built right into the platform. Man, I think we've hit like the 101 through 103 of daily drafting asks in the last half a year.
Yeah, no, that's really true, right? Like the next things to be included like on the wish list, I think nothing like brand new that like I can think of right now. I mean,
Exactly.
as we play around with these new features, I'm sure we'll come up with like, oh, maybe a little something here, a little something there. But these changes that have been made thus far are just like what we've wanted. And like so high on the ask list that this is just I'm just I'm very proud of what they've done
Yeah.
to our beautiful games. I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I will go ahead, hit it, demonstrate right now. You can see there's this little icon here because it is of note that you will be automatically pushed on the plane. So bye-bye RT99 waiting on the corner for 30 seconds and then bleeding another 30 seconds at NBA lock. Bye-bye JZR. The push the plane movement is in full effing effect here. But the reason I bring this up is because you have to be aware of it when you're multi-entering for basketball tournaments or correlation-based sports. You got to make sure you untoggle that after you enter. So I don't have any ranks set up for the golf, but I will go ahead and I will just, draft a couple at ADP here. I will enter the next 3 here. It'll just say confirm. Okay, $15 is going to be deducted from that. 3 drafts, blah, blah, blah. You click in. And now they'll all be in your active tab. But as you can see, they're down below here with the plane pushed on them there. So if we wanted to then hop into this, you just got to make sure you untoggle and get in. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, it's awesome. Only feedback from me would just be like, is there a way to toggle between on and off the plane while you jump in? So if I wanted to do them manually, I could do that. But outside of that, I mean, fucking perfect.
Yeah, seriously, it is, and it's going to be huge come NBA season. This is like NBA and PGA, I think, are like the main uses of this new mass enter feature. But regardless, if you were going to count the clicks and you wanted to enter 10 MLB drafts and did 10 and then toggled the plane, it's still fewer clicks. So even with this new feature and having that workaround, if you wanted to do it that way, it is still saving us time, which ultimately is what we want. So yeah, this is so good.
I have no idea what T-Box is going to do with all his time in the mornings now. Like I have no idea. His hands are going to be free. I have no idea what T-Box is going to be doing, man.
It might be part of his exercise routine, right? I mean, you've seen those guns, right? I think like just the the routine of the button pushing is like kind of how he gets his day started. So I don't know. Maybe he's just gonna like refuse to cooperate.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's pretty funny there, man. Yeah, feedback like this is dope and stuff. They haven't officially announced it yet, and we're gonna kind of like just slowly see what the feedback loop is and stuff like that on it. But I imagine it's gonna be resoundingly positive because this is something that people have been using on their own accord if they're mass enterers, and something that like people have been asking for a long time, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to put it to use. I threw in some golf entries just to feel something, because I wanted to test it out, take it for a test drive, let
Yeah.
the back end know that it's being used, and yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be doing this for like I'm not auto drafting any best ball teams or anything like that, or at
Mhm.
least not at
Not
this rate.
yet. Not yet.
I'm
Yeah,
making
yeah.
good pace. I'm making good pace, so I don't have to auto draft anything. Thank God. But yeah, I famously auto drafted some playoff best ball for
Mhm.
NFL. I could definitely see myself doing that again here.
Yeah, my thought process here is kind of in line with Paid here. He's saying it'll be interesting to see when contests are nearing close, like to
Yeah,
ensure you get in and stuff like that.
yeah,
So maybe the new meta will be like, hey, I'm signing up for like the last 10 puppies or whatever. I can see the fill rate. I'm doing it right now. And then I'm going to go unclick the plane once those things get going, you know?
yeah. They're definitely gonna have to. I mean, so if things do end up like snap filling at the end, what there's like the feedback I don't think would be to eliminate the tool. It would be, well, I guess you just got to make the contest bigger.
Right. Right. Yeah. There
You
you
know?
go. The new meta is this is going to accidentally on purpose make contests bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
love it. Um, no, GA, we are just explaining how to auto draft. I am auto drafting already. We will draft shortly here in honor of National Basketball Day. It should be a day that we get in there early. But this wasn't the only bit of underdog adjacent news today, Nez. I thought there was going to be a bit. There's a big tease going on in the industry here, and Rodman just saying that he can't share what the marketing and content team has been working on, but it's something special. Then Norris was retweeting it. Hayden was retweeting it. I think he said something to the effect of, mind blowing emoji and jaw dropping and stuff like this. So, I mean, this could be fast tracking us out of a job real quickly here if the content is too good, Nez. But I don't know. Any speculation, any interest on what's going on here? It's a big underdog day right now.
I know. I know. I have truly like no idea what this is, but I can only imagine it is like I mean, not only imagine, but I am hoping is probably the better way to say it, that it's like a live event, something live event related.
I hope so.
But oh man, yeah, I need an ETA or something. You can't just be like teasing us like this and now I just have to sit on my hands and wait. I
Yeah.
need to know when I can expect to find out what this big reveal is. But it's got me excited. They typically don't disappoint. It's
Right. Yeah.
like this. They always deliver. So I just, God, man, I
What?
do well with waiting when I
Let's
know that something is coming.
Right. Yeah, I feel you. There is two sides of this equation. The first one that we talked about today was a big new update on the platform itself. Beautiful, awesome, great. On this side, it feels like it's not platform related, but it's exterior related. It's bringing someone on, it's tandeming with someone, it's partnering with someone. Just from like the marketing angle, I speculate that that's what this conversation is about. What would be the 101 nut GTO partnership tandem? What this could be that wasn't like directly draft relating or draft game relating to you?
This that I am not entirely sure.
Okay,
I think
I'll
yeah,
give
go
you
ahead.
one.
You go.
I'll give you one. Integration and partnership with NFL Red Zone would be the 101 that I could ever imagine. That would be the they're talking about pick'ems while the games are on. They're talking about some of the drafts and that sort of thing integrated into live broadcast. Do I think that this is it? No. But do I think that that would be like my favorite thing ever? I think so. What about you?
Yeah. Man, they always seem to deliver something very big. So I mean, I can't even fathom what this could potentially be, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I think red zone would definitely be like, like if we're dreaming big, like, yeah, like there's red zone exposure, and bringing in more people into the app would obviously be great.
Yeah. Very cool stuff there. And that's two other things that I just wanted to hit on before we hop in a draft here. I think this is a very interesting conversation that Hayden brought up. Something that we've talked about a lot in terms of daily streets, but not a ton this year in terms of best ball. If you go back in the archives of us talking about BBM3 and stuff like that, we talked about combinatorial ownership ad nauseum. We talked about all these baseline principles, and now they've low key kind of become table stakes, right? Like you have to understand what you're doing with these builds and stuff. But I ask you the question in the same fashion that Hayden asked it: is what is the tipping point right now for ownership on bringbacks and correlation? Like, is it significant enough to be playing into ownership? And if we're results oriented and we look at last year and we just think of Amon-Ra St. Brown plus CD Lamb, well, yes, it was beneficial to do so. But in a vacuum, do you think, leaving that result aside, do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing to be thinking through or playing into?
It's totally fair to like to question and to bring
Mhm.
up. I think you can kind of already, so he in his hypothetical,
Yep.
um he said the bring back correlation is around 10%. So he's asking, like, what's the threshold? Well, we kind of know that most of these finals teams are going to have week 17 correlation. At least that's what it was last year. Not necessarily the results, which obviously did bear out in favor of it, but of the results of week 17, I mean, but just the teams that make it to the final, per Leone's research, was that people that did the week 17 correlation were more likely to make the finals. Their teams were better. It was just probably a matter of who was tapped in, which is what the hypothesis is, of course, is that
Right.
the people that were tapped in were drafting better teams. But we already know, based on that if you want to say that that's going to happen again, that the finals are going to include a asymmetrical number of week 17 bringbacks as opposed to what the
Mhm.
field is doing. So if you are scared of that already, I mean, feel free to build lineups that are less likely to win in the finals,
Right.
because you want to be different than the field. I would never go out of my way to avoid week 17 correlation,
Right.
but it's obviously, and I think, it's obviously not the end all be all. Correlation in and of itself is, and that exists obviously in different facets. I mean, the 101 of everything fantasy football on a daily slate is stacking. That's
Right.
correlation. Stacking is still important. Do you not want to stack because everybody's stacking in
Right.
in best ball? Like, no, but I think it's a very fair question, and I hope that it gets some people off of week 17 bringbacks because he asked it.
Yeah, I mean, I share very like-minded thoughts as you there. I posted a response in tandem with this. My response kind of similar to Leone's in terms of like the dynamic of scoring in best ball is very different than non-best ball. Mine was kind of similar along that lines of thinking. I like the way Paid put it here is that people don't correlate enough to fade. Like we're just within our little content bubble. And I would say that's 100% true because I've been doing more and more BBMs now outside of the content window just to try and catch up and whatever. And those drafts look very, very different than the ones in which we do on stream. And I think it's very easy to get trapped in this content loop, this content bubble right now because everyone and their dog has a stream going on right now where someone's drafted a team, right? You can find a million of them. So yeah, I tend to be in lockstep with you
Hmm.
there. Nez, last one on the docket. I was watching last night. I was watching the start of Hard Knocks there, the off season
Are you fully caught
week
up, by
one.
the way?
No, I'm
Okay.
not. I got to like 1.5, and Nikki fell asleep. Nikki loves Hard Knocks. She loves Hard Knocks. Like
That's
I
awesome.
pause it when she goes to sleep. Like this is her like football, right? Like she doesn't
Yeah.
want to watch all the games on Sunday. She doesn't care. Like she'll watch the Super Bowl, whatever. But this is her exposure to
She
like
wants the
getting tapped
reality
in.
TV.
Oh, like last year, she's like, I don't know if the Dolphins are gonna win this week. And I was like, babe, this was 5 weeks ago. This episode, like that sort of vibe. Anyways, I'm kind of tongue in cheek with this take. I know it's a TV show. I know it's set up to be reality TV. I know there's a lot more facets in managerial like hierarchy of a team, like responsibility delegation, being front facing of the camera, orchestrating and planning out timelines for all this sort of stuff. There's so much more that goes into like GM other than like player analysis and this sort of thing. But man, I was bewildered at the fact that these guys, the way they were talking about, like it was like you and I talking a dynasty trade. They're talking about Brian Burns and it's probably going to be 2 firsts. Like, and it's not like nobody is going like, hey, Montez Sweat got traded in the middle of last year. This is what the package was. This is the breakdown. This is the contract he got. This could be a benchmark adjacent to this and like stuff. You know what I mean? Like, It's just, there was just so much that I thought came across very juvenile, but that very well could have been by design. Anyways, I've spoken too much. What are your thoughts on it? What was your experience watching the first bit?
Yeah, we definitely don't see everything that goes on, obviously. Like there's a lot of people working behind the scenes with these front offices, giving reports to Joe Shane in this example, giving reports to other members of the New York Giants with drawn out reports, drawn out financials, like, and probabilities of risk and all this stuff. Like that exists. I promise you that exists. However, when you got 10 dudes in a room talking about one guy and they're just like bullshitting back and forth, I mean, holy crap, man, what the fuck are we talking about here? And I think what you can say real quick is like, I think some owners like you hear their owner talk, right? Mara, I think, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I'm a little bit ahead of you, but
no, he comes into the office. I saw the scene where he comes in the office. Yeah.
And then he's like, if we lose Saquon to the Eagles, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep at night. Like, right. you want your division rival to overpay a running back. I mean, no disrespect to these running backs. I want everybody to get paid for their hard work, but you want your division rival to overspend on a running back. Yeah. It's you actually want that. And he's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep at night. And he's concerned about he's concerned about losing their most popular player.
Right.
Because he's a fucking businessman.
Right.
But I'm like, dude, what's more like winning will earn you way more money than selling Saquon jerseys ever will. But like,
right.
It is kind of nuts to hear some of these conversations. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, no, very much so. The ones that I found very funny were when they're going around the table discussing every potential free agent running back. And it was like every fucking podcast cliche I've heard from 10 years ago. It's like, he's downhill runner. He's good for his own run scheme. Lowers his pads at the second level. Like it's just like they're talking about Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing 2 years ago. Like no efficient.
Say that louder. No. Say that fucking louder for the nerds in the chat, man. Holy crap! Put some respect on my boy.
Oh man, it's a very interesting, it's a very interesting balancing act, but it did give you big Moneyball vibes when they're sitting around the table.
Braves, this comment gets first down.
But does he get a first down?
It's so good. That is so good. Yeah, no, it's been a really fun show to watch though, just to kind of see the decision making. Last week's episode was kind of a tease. I thought they were going to get into the draft. It was only like 30 minutes long, so that was kind of a bummer. I really want to see them talk about Neighbors and see what the draft process was like for them.
I just saw the interviews before the draft process, and like Neighbors sat there with his like backpack on the whole time, hunched forward, didn't really say much. And then like you listen to Rome and Marv and you're like, whoa, damn, these guys are sharp as hell. Like I was really like, how'd they end up with Neighbors instead of Rome after that interview? But it must just be all the ball, right?
Oh yeah, I mean Neighbors on the field. They know that Neighbors on the field is a different dude than in the interviews for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hop in something here, Nez. Let me see. I had BBM on the cover there. Oh, we could check out how the push the plane went on our 4 here.
Was this straight off of ADP?
Yeah, Shane Lowry and Bryson. Didn't Hatton win last year?
He might have. I
I think
don't.
he won by like a lot last year. Hodge,
Yeah, I don't
Cam
remember.
Smith, CT Pan. That is the team, guys. That is the team.
I'm sitting at 158th in the Albatross right now.
Ooh, yeah, I'm sweating alongside you. You shared your team with us this morning, and I was watching a little bit this morning. Okay, I'm not gonna goat everybody as I click into this, but what I will do when I click in 4 more spots is I will jump back to the lobby here because I do want to not lose sight of our roots right now. And this is on the back of what Kev just said. He's like, there's literally 4 streams of best ball on Underdog right now going on his feed. We are big football guys. We love drafting best ball on the platform, but we do not lose sight that we are the multi-sport draftletes. We are daily bros. Tomorrow is going to be baseball dailies. We got a beautiful slate with 10K to first. Incredible. First time that's ever happened for baseball. Really excited. And it's a Coors slate. And then I'm also going to share the fact that next week and maybe potentially the next one, I've been talking with some people here. Mike Zakarian's going to come on. We're going to do double dribble. We're going to talk about summer league. We're going to do full basketball deep dive. And then we're going to do best puck as well for our multi-sport draftletes with Matt Moody and DJ Mitchell there. So hopefully next week, all that stuff comes to fruition. Don't forget it, guys. We're not losing sight of our roots just because it's a full-fledged BBM season out here.
Yeah, well said. I'm looking forward to those shows. All right, we got the 105. Beautiful, perfect. Love it. Someone asked about my puppy progress in the fast puppy. I'm at 115.
115. Wow. Good
35 left. We're certainly maxing this bad boy.
I dare you to just type in 35 right now on stream. Type in 35, push that plane and go, baby. I dare you.
Oh my God. Hell no. I did auto a few though. I did. I had some ranks set up and tried to auto, and I think I did it 10 times in the puppy. That's it. And then I stopped when I realized, oh, I can actually do this by hand. I'd say like 4 out of 10 are probably dead, but 6 out of 10 are fine.
All right. 6 out of 10 ain't bad.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, I would take that. We're going to have a decision here at the 105 Nez. I know who I want, but yeah, I will entertain.
I just want to let you know Bijan's going to be number 5 ADP very, very soon. I just want to
Bijan is number 4, baby.
I'm telling you, man. I called it on. I think it was off and on the clock. I said that, and it's coming.
Who do you like between Chase and Jefferson?
I think it might be time to get a Chase share, but I've been taking Jefferson over Chase.
All right, let's get a Chase share. I took Jefferson over Chase this morning twice. I rolled this kind of like similar-ish draft spot, and my Justin Jefferson percentage is up to like 18 or something like that. So that is pretty exploitative for the first round. So maybe it's time to do a little balancing act here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the concerns with Chase, if they're that do exist, I think are mostly on the Burrow end, where it's like, how is this wrist gonna hold up for in season with that surgery? Because we haven't really seen a quarterback go through this injury before, so that'll be interesting. But Chase has, he has 50 balls multiple in his bag. So yeah, I don't think it's wise to full fade Chase, but I do like Jefferson on the full season range of outcomes.
Love it. Speaking of other best ball streams and stuff, best ball guy dropping in here doing the Lord's work to drop a like for the video. We got almost 200 of us hanging out. Do us a favor. We would love to demonstrate our value now that Underdog is bringing on a major content influencer potentially, according to these tweets. Nez, we would like to stay. We would like to stay in the bubble, man, and we need likes. We have to pander to the crowd for these likes and views to ensure that continues.
That's what we got to do, man. That's what we got to do. I think we do a pretty good job of it. So shout out to everybody hanging out with us. We do appreciate it.
Love it. Love it. Who else we got in this draft here? We got T-Bear. We got Joe. We got Best Ball Viper in here. We got the Good Process. I love that name. That's Good Process. Nick's in here. Sweeney's hanging. Wow, we got everybody in here.
Yeah, this is we were able to fill in a nice friends and family BBM here. The puppy is definitely taking in most of the people that would be sitting down and regging for BBM. So it's done a really good job of cooling the flames on the fill rate. I mean, we knew it would, but it's done a very good job of doing that.
Yeah, love it. We got some posterior questions coming in from my guy T Bear. Everybody checking up on my health and well-being. I think I might low-key be allergic to the antibiotic they gave me because I had like some crazy like wheezing and coughing fit and whatever, and I just walked over to the clinic somewhere else earlier today. And yeah, but outside of that, everything's great, man. Everything is good, less pain. I'm up and walking, and I'm not gonna lie. Saturday night, I might be back on that ice. I'm calling it Saturday night. Questionable. I was questionable early in the week. I just got the Q tag removed on the site. People are pushing me up in ADP. They are drafting me, Nez, for Saturday night. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be out there.
Set your swap ranks. Don't fucking do that, man.
Oh, God. Shoot. Nez, we could pair together two players that we rarely draft on stream. Could be very fun to do Jonathan Taylor here with Jamar Chase, or we could go the Evans Ayuk route. Ayuk kind of falling. What do you think?
Let's do JT. Let's get a little GM on live on air.
All right. I mean, not my idea of a GM, but I am kind of scared of my Saquon Barkley and JT exposure because both of them are going to be very low in the second round there.
Yeah.
There is a very good question I saw in the chat earlier here from Billy Jones that plays right into this pocket of the board. Nez, do you think there's any bring back pairings that will be excessively common? And I think the most common ones will be the high total game environments where people tack on late, cheaper backup pieces associated with it. I think that will be common avenue number one. Common avenue number two is going to be pushing up someone who's always available, like 2 or 3 spots to join to someone, right? So that will most likely be the Detroit and San Fran. So taking a San Fran wide receiver in the second round in tandem with Amon-Ra or Gibbs. But because there's so many pieces in that front end, there's a little more fluidity. I think the very most common one will be CeeDee Lamb and Devonta Smith.
Yeah, 100%. Devonta and Saquon are going to be paired with CD all the time. And it makes sense. Personally, I think it makes a lot of sense. You're not sacrificing a lot on your advance rate by doing that, by pairing those two together. Those are 3 options there that are all great players, project well on really great offenses, and that week 17 matchup should be stellar. So I think it makes total sense to do that. I would not avoid that just because it aligns with ADP and a lot of people are doing it. It doesn't mean that that's going to be the overwhelming combination in BBM. And it doesn't mean that it's bad just because people do it. Okay. I think this should be a wide receiver. I don't want to get buried again. We do that a lot to ourselves.
Dude, let's do the full zigging while zagging team. These are 3 players we don't take a ton. Let's put them all together and see what happens.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. We're taking DJ Moore here. In terms of like ownership, for whatever reason, I find myself clicking Cooper Kupp over DJ Moore. I find myself clicking Justin Jefferson over Jamar Chase. And Jonathan Taylor, I usually click like Olave and or insert wide receiver in that range over Jonathan Taylor. So this is a very contrarian start, not in terms of the contest, but in terms of our own portfolio so far, right, Nez?
Yeah, definitely. And I actually like all 3 of these guys. I just don't take them a lot. We did get a trade in NBA.
Oh, okay. Live reaction. Let me hear it.
Sign and trade Russell Westbrook.
Okay. Low-key, okay, I will say, before we go with the trade, I will low-key say Russell Westbrook played very well at the tail end of last year when Kawhi was out.
I agree.
Okay.
He's a Utah Jazz.
Wow.
Yeah, for Chris, sign and trade with Chris Dunn.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Interesting.
Dude, we were Chris Dunn guys for a minute there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I respect Chris Dunn's game. Wait,
Oh.
wait. There's a follow up.
Okay.
Westbrook is expected to be bought out and then sign with the Denver Nuggets.
That's pretty cool.
Huh. Okay.
Well, think about what did the Nuggets lack in the playoffs this year? Secondary bench scoring when guys were banged up, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't rely on Christian Brown, like, you know, decent role player, but like I don't want to give him big minutes. Like that's an upgrade over Reggie Jackson coming off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Huh.
Not bad. Not terrible.
I'm into it. He's got you put him, like, get him with some shooters around him too, so he can kick on his drives as well. And there's obviously shooters on Denver.
Yeah. Interesting. I like that one.
That's fun.
The chat is clamoring here, man. They're telling me to take a week off here. My guy GA telling me I appreciate them looking out for me. You know, Blake telling me pull my ass, but you know, I'm built different, guys. I have to remain true to who I am at times. You know,
your glute is gonna fall onto the ice. It's just falling. The incision's gonna open up.
DJ Mitchell said he blocked a shot on his drafting hand last night, and he's drafting through the pain.
Wow,
I love that.
Wow, ouch.
All right, Nez. I'm gonna look at ADP here. Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco screaming up boards thanks to the ETR influence. Adam Levitan did a show with Hayden and Norris there and talked about Isaiah Pacheco being one of his favorite targets thus far. Yeah, we might get caught with our pants down at wide receiver, but I think we just got to try and shoot the moon here and try and go like Kelce Mahomes or something.
Can you go wide receiver real quick?
Keenan Allen, Godwin.
Sheesh, man.
I think it's Keenan Allen or Kelce. Dude, let's just do it.
All right, go ahead. God hates a coward.
Yeah. Let's just do it and see if we can land the plane, man. I'm all about getting funky with these builds. I posted the 3 running back build the other day. I'm all for this, man. I saw Leone and Davis doing a draft this morning, and they went back to the OG roots, the hat tip to Justin Herzig there with the 2-4-10-2. Like, let's just get a little funky out here, man. We got to hit the nuts in BBM. This ain't no time box contest, all right?
I tell you what I like doing is from the 12 hole, right? 12 hole, everyone is kind of struggling with how to draft out of the 12 hole. You know, what do we do? How do we solve this? And 2 different things that I've done that I like a lot is one,
best ball Viper, always best ball Viper.
Dude, I'm seriously, dude. Like he's gonna come in here like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't mean to. Like you do this all the time, man. You do this all the time. Like what's the point? What is the point?
He's gonna stack it up. It was good. It was a good one. All right. We're good with Kelce on his own at an ADP value. We're gonna find some wide receivers, bud. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Anyways,
yes, the 112. The 112.
With Kelce or without Kelce, grabbing Mahomes at that 3-4 turn and then pairing with Worthy and Rice, if you get Rice back there too, I think is like kind of a fun way to attack the 12 hole, just because Mahomes clearly has QB1 range of outcomes this season with the offense that he has. And pairing Mahomes otherwise can be kind of like a risky endeavor unless you kind of have to reach, or you can do like the quote unquote leap of faith and take Mahomes and hope you get a falling Worthy or Rice, which, you know, that's probably the better way to do it. But just getting unique, I guess, as a plus from the 12 hole, doing it that way, I think has built. I think the teams that I built are good and fine doing that. Yeah. So
I will ask you, aren't you worried, in a non-ironical sense, that the teams on the left-hand side of the board that do it in the 4-5 are so much stronger than you doing it in 3-4?
I guess like not necessarily.
Okay.
No, not really.
Okay.
No.
Because if you 3v3 it, but we can use Best Ball Viper's team as the perfect example right now. He does it with Pacheco instead of one of the
We're
wide
on the clock.
receivers. Oh shit, my bad. This is classic John. Hey, Keenan Allen comes back. We need a wide receiver.
Hey, perfect. Yeah, because we can't stack up Kelsey.
Should we do a double Chicago thing? Are you good with that, or do you want to
Yeah,
do
definitely.
Godwin? Okay, we're good
Yeah.
with the double Chicago.
Oh yeah,
Sounds good.
for sure.
All right, kind of setting ourselves up for a little bit of a Caleb team here. Okay, let's talk about this. So he does the Mahomes with Pacheco. You could do right here. So it could have been like Garrett Wilson. We'll use Legal's team. Garrett Wilson, London, Mahomes, Kelsey, or you could do Pacheco there too if you wanted to keep it the same. And then you 3v3 it with whatever his 60th pick is versus like DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I mean, like I just think that it's a pretty flat tier there, and if you get that if you get the nuts season from Mahomes, and like you end up advancing out of your pod there, I guess I'm not like overly concerned. Like at that point, it's just like a 1 week contest trying to beat out these other Mahomes teams if those teams end up being
Right.
in your same pod. I'll pull up an example of try to find one that I drafted and just kind of like.
Yeah, maybe it's not fair to just flat 3v3 it there because you're going to get the 5-6 turn, and your 6 is most likely going to potentially be like a value adjacent that the other side can't get. Or it can be a triple stack with Mahomes. And how else do you triple stack Mahomes from the left-hand side of the board, right?
Yeah, I guess it'd be kind of hard to visualize this unless I pulled up the team, but I did it in my last fast puppy with Mahomes at 37, and then I got Rice and Worthy at 60 and 61 with
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, there you go.
with Harrison and Pickens, which is like an interesting 1-2 the wide receiver there, but it was Gibbs as well on this team.
And you did Pickens, so you get the run back baked into that as well.
Oh yeah, man. You know you got to correlate too. Can't do it without any correlation, baby. So
this is to your point in the chat here. It's like Hoams is saying if you do it from the 4-5, it's really hard to get Rice and or Worthy back. But if you do it from that 3-4, like you're alluding to, you can pair the wide receiver with it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It allows you to do like a different type of chief stack, and you have to do it from that way. You almost always, unless you get an absurd fall, which can happen at times. And obviously on paper that team is going to look better, but what I just don't think it's that crazy to think that like the Chiefs are okay to reach on.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like in that same vein, I was thinking through like what's another combination that you could do that with. And it's kind of like you could do Lamar Andrews in the same way, but you'd have to take Zay in the second. Like, or you're better off doing it in the middle of the board where you take, I don't know. That'd be hard because like if you took like Zay Andrews and then hope nobody takes naked Lamar, I'm trying to think of another way in which you could build it out. Yeah, taking like Zay early third, and
which
then
is
you
like what
build
Cap
out.
Attack did.
Where am I looking?
Sorry, the 11 hole. That's early third, right?
No, that's
late third. Sorry.
So if you took Zay over this whole tier and you moved him up to like neighbors, in theory, you could just put that together like that. So you have to make if we took Rachaad White on this team, Nez, we would truly be drafting the guys I never draft on one team.
Packaging them all in one.
All on one team. This is the what if we're wrong draft, other than Keenan Allen, I think. Do you want to do White? Do you want to do Hopkins? Ladd?
Hopkins is a tough. I like Hopkins.
Okay.
I just don't think it's a big enough value for us to be like, yeah, let's skip a wide receiver and take another running back, which we don't even like that much.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so back to the example there, like, yeah, it's ugly to pass on Neighbors and start like Bijan Achane and then take Zay over Neighbors, but like, I don't know, non-zero chance that like, a little rookie rust and Daniel Jones isn't that great and whatever. I mean, I don't want a 1v1 Neighbors versus Zay Flowers, but in the interest of building a unique combination, like from the same tier bucket, it's probably the only way to do it is take him over like DK Metcalf or Neighbors on that side, and then hope the Lamar Andrews falls.
And Josh Allen is another interesting one, but I think that one's you can do the Josh Allen thing, and then just guarantee if you don't draft Josh Allen a lot and you want you tell yourself, I need more Josh Allen. I'm doing it in this next draft, and I'm taking him in the third, no matter what. So that way I can have a better chance of grabbing Kincaid with him, because that's like the A1 stack. And maybe if you do it at a weird enough spot, you can then maybe do Kincaid and Coleman, where you're not totally overpaying for Kincaid and Coleman, because otherwise you do kind of have to reach. If you take Josh Allen at ADP, you kind of have to reach on Keon Coleman from my experience. Like, I just don't get Keon with Josh Allen at ADP. They're on opposite ends of the board, and for whatever reason, people love Keon Coleman without Josh Allen, and I don't like that at all.
I think it's less about Keon Coleman and more about this break in ADP. Like, look at this. He's the only wide receiver. So if you want a wide receiver, you just naturally click his name, right? I think that's what it has to do.
Definitely.
Nez, who do you like in that same vein? Should we take Coleman? Should we take a running back instead? Kamara, Najee? You want to do the Najee thing again? What do you like?
Kamara, Najee, Kamara or Najee?
Yeah, let's do Kamara, because another player that we don't normally take all that frequently or take on stream. I think there is a little bit of FUD around him with the contract restructuring potential and that sort of thing. He is not going to be a Saint next year, given the structure of his deal right now. So there's definitely some reason for FUD there, but I don't think Kendre Miller is as good as other people think he is. So let's go ahead and add him on.
Yeah, I think that there's a very likely chance that if Kamara stays healthy, like what's going to happen? He's not going to play at all. You know, like he's gonna play. He's going to be probably second in targets on the Saints, most likely. It doesn't feel good, you know, but because I don't take a lot of Kamara right now, but I think he's definitely a fine pick, right? If you're like forcing a wide receiver versus, taking Alvin Kamara, the Kamara is the much safer pick and still offers some upside.
Yep, I like that. I mean, I can't argue that. Interesting stuff here in the chat. Billy suggesting that he's done similarly, where he takes Mahomes in the early third, Kelsey in the early third, which lines up the Mahomes and Hollywood on the left side of the board.
Yeah, I've done it that way. Yeah.
Another way to implement the exact same strategy we were just talking to. Tyler's suggesting that Coleman and Samuel's ADPs should be flipped. I don't know.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I know the gimmicky packages for Curtis Samuel and the motion stuff and everything you want to implement with him is going to be like more fun potentially. I don't write off the fact that at one point in time, Keon Coleman was supposed to go way higher in drafts and people thought so much more of him than where he slipped to, and big body red zone target with quarterback one go Burr in my mind, right? Like, it's just like a very simple one-to-one, but could he be Calvin Benjamin? Maybe,
Yeah.
Some people think so. Like, I don't know.
I was watching Gretsch stream the other day. You know what name he dropped out of nowhere? Just an absolute nuke of a name.
Okay, give me a clue. Give me a clue so I can try and guess it first.
I want to say he was a Carolina Panther.
Carolina Panther. That's all my only hint?
Yeah, man. I mean, I honestly don't even have any other hints to give you.
Okay, go for it. Tell me.
Devin Funchess.
Oh, that's a fun one. Yeah, nice.
That's how that shit even came up, but
Devin Funchess and Calvin Benjamin kind of, similar career arcs of should they play tight end? They're big, they're slow, they're,
You know what's crazy is Devin Funchess is only 30 years old. I thought he was like older than me.
Dude, your shelf life in the NFL ain't long, man.
He had a 111 target season.
Wow. Bunches of Funchess. Such a good team name. Terrence Marshall, that was a good guess.
Yeah. Packers legend, he says.
All right, we're gonna be back up here, Nez. The Swift would really tack on super Chicago stack. I think we can push Caleb around the corner. I would pound the table for Ramondre or Zamir White here. I don't think I want to 4 stack the Bears, but if you want
No,
to, I won't say
no,
no.
no. I think that would be bad. I'm cool with Ramondre
Do you like
or Zamir.
Ramondre and going running back over Cortland Sutton here?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ramondre is a fine pick here. We
All
got
right.
there's late wide receivers that I like.
Okay. Sounds good to me, man. I mean, we're doing exactly what GA alluded to, that we love pushing the envelope and then crashing the plane. But this is so far so good, Nez. I mean, a 3-4-1 start. Is that what we have? Or do we only have 3 wide receivers? No,
No, we
yeah,
got
hey,
4.
we got 4 wide receivers through 8 rounds. We're cooking, and we had 4 through 7 for those keeping track at home.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this feels pretty good. I will say. I think I do a lot of backstacking with the Broncos and Patriots, but I really want to try to not do that for like this next week of drafts that I do, because I do it a lot. And I want to not do that because I think we're going to look back and I think it might end up being like glaringly obvious that we should not have drafted any Patriot or Bronco pass
Oh,
catcher.
I know, man. Like I know the sentiment. I know what you're saying. It just feels so hard to just X a full team out of your player pool when they're
Oh,
such comfy, cozy, like, they talk about the exposure blanket, those cozy backdoor stacks after you take an elite tight end and an elite quarterback early and you spend that draft capital. It's so nice to just fall back on that, like, let me take Polk and May late. Let me take Franklin and Nix late. It feels so much better than having to take Chris Godwin in the 5th round and then pray for a Baker fall past the Evans guy and take QB 23 instead of taking QB 30 or whatever.
yeah, I know. And I say that as somebody that is like now doing like the Daniel Jones stuff a lot. So that's kind of been my remedy is, okay, don't do that. Do Danny Dimes with rushing upside and in a stud wide receiver 1 injected into his team. Let's see what he does with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't, I would prefer to take Danny Dimes alongside you. So we're in lockstep there. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
all right.
that being said, they're gonna force our hand here.
We got some interesting decisions. We can make the super
We
stack
have
with
Caleb,
Swift
huh?
now, man. Yeah, but Caleb in ADP terms is like way down. And if we have all the Bears, we have all the Bears. Let's do it, man. Let's push it.
All right.
Why not?
Let's go.
Like, and I think we could shut it down at 4 or 5 running backs. Maybe with the overlapping buys here, might want to tack on like one more late one here.
Let's say the Bears. Oh, go ahead. No, finish your thought.
Well, Caleb naturally falls in like a lot of rooms.
Yeah,
he's going to fall in a room where you take all 3 Bears, like unless the Doomsday guy goes like Komet plus him, like.
Well, this Doomsday drafter
is where
is Nick.
Oh yeah, Nick doesn't like him anyways. He knows he can't play multiple sports. Nick doesn't like him. Nick's just drafting 100 running backs. He said he's not gonna. He's not sniping. He's not sniping Caleb Williams for the pit equity. He's a good guy.
I think if you tell ourselves, okay, all these other teams perform to expectation as ADP has it laid out, but the Bears actually overperform to, let's say, like 20% exceeding over expectations. Where would
I don't even know what the fuck that means. What, they score 4 more touchdowns? Like, what is 20% over exceeding expectation?
Over everything. Like they're just yards.
They're just slightly better.
Slightly better. Okay. Where would they be going? Is my question, right? Does that still, who gets the biggest boost, and is it just a bigger boost of Caleb, or do the skill positions get a boost? I think what you could see
Yep.
is if in this hypothetical would be Keenan Allen getting a pretty big boost if Caleb Williams is him and this offense is really good. I think,
Right.
oh shit, why was Keenan Allen not in the 3rd round? He's a really good wide receiver, and this
Right.
offense is killing.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Let me throw it back at you with comp guy. All right.
Yeah, bring us back.
If that happens, couldn't you just flip the ADPs of every single Texan with every single Bear?
That's fun. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I
DJ
mean,
Moore goes
very similar. Very similar.
DJ Moore goes where Nico goes. Swift goes where Mixon goes at RB15. You know, a Doomsday goes where Tank goes, almost something
I
like
mean,
that.
it's very similar, except one plays outdoors and one's a rookie.
Yeah.
And is a rookie, I mean.
We could push it. But does this team rely so heavily on Caleb that we need to take him right here and not risk someone does the Komet plus Caleb?
Yeah, I don't trust Viper at all.
Okay. Let's do it.
Not a joke. This
Viper did chime in after making that pick. And he said he's at his mom's house and she thinks we're all nuts. So I do appreciate that. I love that.
Shout out Mama Viper.
Yeah, and I've been placed on the pup list according to Best Ball Viper. No puck for me.
Please no. You don't need that.
Last game of the regular season, you know, there's a scoring title up for grabs. Old John Boy's pretty close.
A scoring title.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, I think I'm 6 points back, but I've played like 4 less games or something like that because I've missed.
Do you even qualify then? Because you haven't played enough games.
PPG, baby. We got 230 of us hanging out. Do us a favor. If you're watching on X, on the Twitterverse, one click, jump on over to the YouTube streets, hit us with a subscribe of, you know, like a little follow over there. Consider becoming a YouTube member. We stream every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is Monday to Friday. And we stream anything and everything that is going on Underdog. And in that same vein, before our next pick, I will highlight what we highlighted at the top of the show there, a brand new feature on Underdog that we have been clamoring for a long time here. You can mass enter by just typing in a number and you'll be in the next 10 drafts if you just type that boy in there and enter. So pretty incredible stuff going on the platform today, just in general. And then another feature that I can highlight as I jump back into this draft is brand new. You can draft from the active tab here. So it's going to make multi-table drafting so much more appealing. Before there was only this queue and we couldn't see, oh shit, how many Bears do we have on this team? What are we looking for? Now you can just go ahead, click on your roster and go right there. Some beautiful new features that the sickos in the draft community have been asking for a long time, and Underdog delivered in a big way.
That was a great plug.
Thank you.
We need, let's see here. I'm looking at running back.
I'm pretty content to just punt running back now, dude. Taylor Kamara, right. Ramondre, Swift.
I was eyeing up Sharps, but yeah, we've got 4 here. Okay.
I mean, I would just take Judy and do the tier break thing.
Yeah. What's up? What else is up at wide receiver?
Yeah, Gabe Davis. He might come back. Polk might come back.
Yeah, I'm like any of these wideouts. I don't have a strong preference.
All right, let's do the Judy thing there. I alluded to yesterday how my Brown stuff is kind of skewed in the Judy direction, which is unfortunate, but sorry, Nick, after he passed on Caleb. Nez here doing some work here. He did say at the tail end of yesterday's show with Pete that he would gift out a membership to a member of the community, or to invite a new member into the community yesterday, and you forgot. Yeah, so he's gifting out 5 today. So drop a little thumbs up to Nez if you happen to be one of the recipients of that, and hope you stick around, man. Those badges look good. Hey, T-Bear, look at that. There you go. He's got a bear. T-Bear's got a nice one there. Hoham's got one there. Yeah, Who hams? Yeah. There you go. Grant's in here. Beautiful. Love to see it. Those badges look good on you guys. Keep coming around.
Love it.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah,
You're welcome, guys.
Best Ball Viper, jump back to the beginning of the show, man. We led the show with it. Brand new tool that is built into the platform. It jumps you into 10 drafts, but just note that you will be jumped in on auto. So you have to unpush the plane if you are going to manually draft those ones. So there you go.
Let's go.
All right. I wonder if No Cap Mac dropping by to say what up is Cap Attack in this draft. Let us know if that's if there's some overlap with the cap there.
A cap attack versus no cap. I feel like that those are contradicting things.
That's true. That is true.
Mac is no cap. This guy's attacking us with cap.
I like it. Hey, this is an interesting one. The Darnell Mooney right there on the end.
Ooh,
I was listening to Hayden and Josh's some of their older stuff that I was just getting caught up on yesterday when I was walking the dog, and they were talking about like breakout wide receivers and like their confidence interval. They were calling them sleepers and whatnot, but back, past 120 or whatever. And Mooney's name came up, man. And it's not a guy I've been drafting despite being really in on Atlanta's offense. I kind of take a little bit of Rondell in the last round, but Hayden and or Josh brought up a really good point there that basically they just kind of sloughed off a trade for Rondell opposed to they went out and got Mooney and like gave him good money. Mm-hmm. Okay, no, sorry, we're back up here. We could do the coveted Deshaun stack. We could do the Dotson.
What about Komet?
I don't want to do crazy on.
We can get him on the way back.
I don't want to do. That's a bridge too far, I think.
Getting a fourth stack.
Getting a fourth pass catcher or like a fourth player from that same team.
Yeah, like, you're right.
I'm cool doing that in like a cumulative playoff contest, like the sprint, where it's like, hey, we're just betting on this schedule and we're betting on this offense for that window of time. But like, it's going to be really, really hard to get all those guys home. Granted, maybe in this in week 17, it's going to be really hard. But granted, theoretically in this lineup, Kelsey's scoring for us in week 17 anyways. So maybe it's just a good thing for advance rates to have Komet on this team. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. Now that I think about it, I think it does make sense that, hey, why grab a second tight end when you have Kelsey for the fourth stack partner? That's not going to be good for the team, for the good of the team. It's like the coach's son, getting
right,
getting pulled up because
I think I got a shortstop for us guys.
Like, coach, we really need some wide receiver depth. Like, no. Backup tight end.
Oh, I like that.
Caleb's fave.
No cap. Mac is not the cap we were looking for, but the cap we are looking for came out of the woodwork here in Michael. There we go. So
Capalupi.
Capalupi. Good name.
I like that.
Yes, Baker just went in the 12th round there. Someone asking in the chat there. Yeah, Baker with Mike Evans drafter, Best Ball Viper. The people are scrolling today. Let's go by ADP here. Okay. Xavier Leggett at the top there. Burton, I've kind of slowed down a little bit on Burton. Probably not great on a chase team as well. We're going to have to start thinking about backdoor stack for second quarterback.
Well, Leggett is right there.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I mean,
click him and then scroll down a little bit at wide receiver because I think this is a wide receiver. Okay, yeah, no more Thielen. I think I like Leggett here. I mean, I know that he could be Mingo 2.0, but have you just how much fun would it be to have Mingo or Leggett and he's popping off Freudian slip there. You get Leggett on your team and he's killing it, and then you just hear him do all these
interviews after.
Yeah. How do you not want that?
Yeah, guy doesn't even speak English. It's amazing.
Jesus.
Great. What? No, he's just got the craziest accent ever.
I
Awesome.
know, John. You just,
Fucking great.
you got away with words. And yeah, Viper did indeed take Baker 2 rounds ahead of ADP because you have to. Does he even have a Tampa Bay Buccaneer on his team for his third
I imagine
QB?
he has Mike Evans, and I imagine that's why he did it.
I imagine he doesn't. Oh, he does.
Oh yeah, come on. I give my guys credit.
3 QBs.
Okay, let's go back to this Leggett thing for a second here. Is there a chance that Mr. Little Bryce Young, with Canales in his ear, quarterback whispers it up, that is one of the potential back stacks that could get home? Davis threw out a tweet yesterday with some of the back stacks. It was the majority of stuff that everybody's talking about. You know, it's the Bo Nix one, it's the May one, it's whatever. One of the ones that came to mind that wasn't listed there was potentially the Carolina one. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm into it. I don't want to write off Bryce Young necessarily. I don't take him a ton because I do think Daniel Jones will have a better season, but you know, all last season, man, I was fully apologetic toward Bryce Young, thinking that he wasn't as bad as he looked and as he played. So I think it makes total sense to leave the light on for the Panthers. Adding Leggett, adding Deontay Johnson to this team, and Jonathan Brooks. I mean, I don't think we should just be like ho-humming those upgrades to pair with a number 1 overall pick. I mean, yeah, they're not like insane upgrades, but those are. I mean, I'll go out on a limb and say this tongue in cheek and call them significant upgrades to the offense.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, and the coaching upgrade too is pretty significant as well. There, I mean, like we have seen a lot of success with mid-tier quarterbacks alongside Canales. Like like we're talking Geno Smith, we're talking Baker Mayfield. Like Baker Mayfield, former 101, and now, yeah, it's crazy, man. Former 101, everybody thought he was dust. He gets released. He goes plays 1-2 weeks or whatever it was with the Rams. And then all of a sudden he was a starting caliber quarterback last year who ended up hosting a playoff game. They beat the Eagles in the playoffs with Baker Mayfield at quarterback.
It's kind of nuts.
Hawkinson almost made it back, dude. Oh, that would have been an absolute hawk to Fant and Geno, Ray Davis as our last running back and shut it down. Thielen for the double stack.
Fant or Thielen?
Let's double stack it up. We've talked ourselves into this.
Yeah, and now I think we can probably call it a day at wide receiver.
Yeah, I think we're going to have one luxury pick in quotations, and it should probably be spent at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do, like, if we're going to script this team out, Nez, it's going to be one more running back, it's going to be one more tight end, it's going to be Bryce Young, and then it's going to be insert something.
Not Danny Jones.
Danny Dimes just went.
Pick 165.
Steam, baby. The steam, the Hard Knocks steam.
I don't think it's like insane to think that he should be going way sooner.
Well, we talked about it yesterday as potential camp risers and stuff like that, that the back end quarterbacks are going to naturally fall into that bucket, right? Especially the rookie ones that play in the preseason, or especially ones that have been hurt and need reps in the preseason. Like Deshaun comes out, plays well. Danny Dimes comes out, plays well. Like you see a couple Neighbors bombs, like in a half of a preseason, they're instantly going to start pushing up as stack equity picks, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense to me. I think the concern with Daniel Jones and, you know, people, oh, is he going to get benched? I don't think he gets benched, but if there's like a real ailment that he suffered on the field that you can see, then maybe then it's like, shit, like just a bad timing injury. But I mean, hell, that could obviously happen to anybody.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a little addition by subtraction here with removing Miles Sanders too. I mean, we talked about this on one of the shows, Nez. I think it's a non-zero chance that Miles Sanders gets the very first carry of the season for the Carolina
That'd be so
Panthers.
funny. No, you're not wrong.
He's getting the money. They can't cut him because they don't save anything.
It's the veteran
hat tip.
That would just break things.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to till week 1.
By that I
Baby.
mean I would be breaking things.
Speaking of week 1, before we make our next pick here, where was it? NFL season long NFL. It's here. Trust me. It's here. We got to go back on the clock. It's here though.
You need to scroll over. There's arrows there, but
yeah, I knew we were going to be up on the clock, so I was lazily looking. It is here. Week 1 up in the lobby already for the pick'em stuff. Truly, truly sick. Getting excited for the Battle Royale streets. We will do a way too early preview of one of those. Nez, I don't trust this room, and I'm really happy just taking Bryce Young right here.
Where is he even available? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this room clearly has lost their mind. Let's
I mean, like, you could twist my arm into Herbert or Likely. One of them might come back. I think Bryce Young is too important for this team to just give up on and risk him going to the other side of the board right now.
Fully agree. I mean, this lobby has no morals. They're reckless, and we need to. You just got to adjust. You know, when you know, we're down in the mud with these guys.
Yeah. Go ahead. Say again.
So you haven't got up to the part where in Hard Knocks where they start talking about Devin Singletary.
I sort of. They haven't signed him yet, and they were just talking about him off the cuff, and they were talking about how, you guys had him in Buffalo and blah blah blah. But I have seen the quote in which I think you're referring to about the motor.
They're talking about motor this, motor that. Who's motor? Oh, it's Devin Singletary. They call this dude motor. You don't want, like, okay, yeah. I'm not gonna draft a guy that they call motor.
Right.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's mode. I'm never calling Devin Singletary for the rest of draft season. It's motor. And I want more motor in my engines.
I mean, I see the path, man. I see the path. Like they clearly like him. He's been with the coaching staff. He's been with that management group before. They, gave up on Barkley and went out and they got their guy. There's a very nice path. And we were looking at, remember the playoff week battle royales last year, and we're looking at the ETR projections, and he was popping. He was popping off the board for the Texans last year. Yep. It was like, yeah, his baseline was going to be like 16 carries and 4 targets or something like that. If we think this offense hums a little bit, it's probably on the back of that little fucking wild horses running there, that little right?
And to continue to talk about Hard Knocks, we did address the way that they talked about players and stuff in free agency. I think when you look on the whole of what they did this season, it was like, all right, I do think they kind of made decisions of like, we're going all in and we could lose our jobs here, but like, let's go all in on Danny Dimes, which I think that they did, right? They beefed up the offensive line. They made signings in free agency to improve the offensive line. They draft Neighbors for Danny Dimes, and they make the smart decision of signing Singletary instead of signing Saquon, and right. and then trading for Burns as well. I feel like these decisions are like, I would grade them out as good decisions. They might have overpaid in trade comp and in money for Burns, but it's like, hey, if this team's going to be good, like we need the pass. We're going to win via pass rush, and we're going to win via the offense. And we believe in Danny Dimes. I don't think what they did was bad at all.
I think they set themselves up to have a win now window right this year based on the fact that they know they have an opt out in Danny Dimes. They're like, we're just going with it this year, and we're just going to see what happens. Nez, I think this is tight end and or running back. I really like Isaiah Likely just as contingent upside plus good football player, and paired with Kelsey, I really like it. But
yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's like, similar bet to Hawkinson sort of.
Yeah.
Where you're like kind of hope you're crossing your fingers and hoping, which I mean, it's in Likely's case, you don't want to hope for Mark Andrews to be hurt or anything, but I think the contingency upside is obvious. It makes sense. I don't really do Likely without Lamar, but when you pair it with Kelsey, I think that is a really good that's really good synergy there.
it's my thesis with the elite tight end and the pairing with Hawkinson and the pairing with Isaiah Likely or something like this is that you just got Kelsey and you just got potentially 90% Mark Andrews and you paired them together.
Yeah.
That is a 4th and a 3rd round pick or a 4th and a 5th round pick if things break right. The thought process with Hawkinson is the exact same thing. It's if things break right for the playoff run, if you can sustain him, you can drag him through, and he is back for the last 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks even for that. It's that you are getting a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick instead of shooting the moon on some back end breakout dart.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense when you pair him with Kelsey. I don't do that a lot, so I might. I mean, I will start to incorporate that more.
I mean, it's extremely volatile, right? Like it's extremely high variance because the other end of the pendulum is you have a contingent upside only backup tight end, and Hawkinson doesn't play a snap this year. It's extremely high variant. But when we're trying to win a tournament with 600,000+ entries, it's something that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I mean, the contingency bets are not bad bets, and especially in Best Ball Mania. I mean, there's the upside is obviously large. It's just you just have to be realistic with yourself about how likely it is that takes place. I did want to say with Brandon Thorne, there's some Giants offensive line talk going on. At the end of he has him ranked 27th, not good. But at the end of it, he says, considering how dire the situation seemed at various times over the last couple of seasons, they're in a pretty good spot heading into 2024. So put that into your copium pipe and light that shit.
And hoof it away.
Hoof it.
I'm looking at some stuff here. Tampa Bay versus Carolina. I don't think you want to do like a Trey Palmer or something. This just feels like Herbert, does it not?
Herbert or like Derek Carr? But I think Herbert.
We don't have anyone to stack with Carr.
Kamara.
All right, let's do it. You know why? Because doing the Chicago thing feels bad. Doing the Chicago thing, we said we were going to do 3 quarterbacks. Doing another Chicago player and kind of handcucking the running back, that doesn't feel good. But Carr with Kamara, and then we probably won't tack on A.T. Perry in the last here, but I think it should be running back, even though we only have 4. But
we could do Madison.
Yeah, if Carr still played for if Carr still played for the Raiders. Oh, you're just talking in general? Yeah.
Just for the run backs
we could pick. Yeah, okay.
Everyone knows you need the Alexander Madison Derek Carr correlation to take down BBM5.
Okay. Yeah, not terrible. Here you go. Jamal Williams handcuff is live. That's not terrible.
Very live. It's in the queue.
Alan asking, what was this? Alan's name is not a guy.
Just a guy.
Just a guy. Just
in
a
503.
Guy. In 503. One of the OG Winner's Circle winners from way back in the day came on the program almost 2 years ago after taking down a Battle Royale. Now asking if we've been seeing Brendan Rice go. I think this is a little bit of ship chasing / Pete / ADP chasing steam associated with him. I have been seeing him go a little bit at the back. We've talked about it as the dunce cap of like, why not just take the Hall of Famer and best wide receivers ever son and tack him on, right? Like, I don't see why not, but it's probably not the best bet in the world for a double stack associated with Herbert, but definitely been seeing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just pay close attention to it and then pack my bags if it sounds like he's going to run with them.
Nez Alexander Madison went.
It's over.
It's Jover for this team. No Madison, no money, as the people say. I think I would say Estem.
Yeah.
Estime? Is it Estem or Estime?
I say Estime. I have no idea because I've never watched this dude play football in my life. but
No, not a South Bend guy, not a Notre
I've
Dame
been there. I've
watcher.
taken a picture in front of Touchdown Jesus before, but
Oh, cool.
no, I can't tell you a lot about SMA other than the fact that yeah, he's taking this job.
Audric's a dope name. Might
It
name my
is.
firstborn Audric.
Audric is a very dope name.
The bye week bros are going to come for us, Nez, because week 14, we got 3 running backs on bye there. We are going to be riding
no.
Kamara and Swift there, but that's fine, man. They're resting up for the playoffs. People forget about locker room dynamics when we are out here and we are drafting. They forget about the human element, Nez. Going into the postseason push, I want my guys resting in 14. You know why? Because we're going to have a 100-point lead in this pod. It's going to be no big deal whatsoever. We are going to be cruising in there. Week 14 doesn't matter at all. You know what matters? 15, 16, 17, Nez. Our guys are going to be fully rested up and ready to go. They're going to do some team bonding on week 14. They're going to go to Cabo. They're going to go on the banana boat, all that fun stuff. And then they're going to come back for a big finals push. What do you think?
That's genius, actually. I think week 14 buys are actually what you need. Why wouldn't you want the freshest legs for the best ball playoffs?
Not enough people are talking about this.
Why would you not?
Man, Badge Bros National Best Ball Day. That was a banger. I'm not gonna lie. That was
a fun team.
That was a
very unique.
Yeah, very fun
in a good
draft.
way, non-derogatory.
Yeah, very fun draft. Very unique for us in terms of the way in which we construct teams here. Nez, I wanted to go back just one thing before we recap the team and before everybody goes and watches Ship Chasing in about 15 minutes here. I wanted to hit on one thing that you said and one thing that Davis said earlier when I caught a little bit of his stream is you said something along the lines of contingent value when we were making the pick of who was it there? We made the likely one. We were having the conversation about contingent upside and blah blah blah. And Davis reset an article that Hayden wrote a long time ago that was like contingency or contingent value is not something, it's everything, or something to that effect, like a couple years ago. And it kind of lives rent free in my head, just like that notion of like, how are we going to shoot the moon? How are we going to find ceiling outcome late? It doesn't always have to be at the running back position as vaulting on the depth chart, usurping a job, or injury in front. It can happen via all of the positions available, right?
Yeah, no, it does not just exist with running backs, that's for sure. And that's something that I really want to talk about on Off and On the Clock next week is kind of ranking these contingency plays. It doesn't have to be just running backs, but I think running backs are the easiest ones to discuss and just kind of talk about their value and how they're being valued and what's being baked into the value and what maybe the market isn't considering with some of these running backs. I think there's a lot to cover, and yeah, I'm really excited to dive into that. But yeah, I mean, even the likely one, man, I was not thinking about pairing him with an elite tight end and playing that like, hey, here's this late round hammer if 12 personnel is rampant in Baltimore, or the most obvious, maybe the only tight end with true contingency value on the board, just finding good ways to draft him without Lamar, I think makes a lot of sense.
I would throw out another contingent tight end, like potential ceiling outcome. One would be Tucker Kraft. Like it was not too, yeah, it's not too long ago that Tucker Kraft was going quite high in these drafts before the injury. And it was kind of like, would it be Kraft? Would it be Musgrave? They kind of play two different positions, even though they're both tight ends. But yeah, that's very, very, very astuteness. Yeah.
Who was the go ahead.
No, I was going to say Jump Free throwing another one in the chat here at the quarterback position, maybe Michael Penix as a contingent upside play associated with the offense. Like that's a pretty good one. Justin Fields, if things don't break right for Russell Wilson, like who has a higher ceiling than one of those quarterbacks in those potential offenses as contingent plays, right?
Yeah, no, it's a good shout. I was looking up the Cowboys tight ends when I think I might be thinking of like just last year Jake Ferguson was super cheap to start drafts. And then there was the year before that, and it was Dalton Schultz and I can't think of the other tight end. I think weren't we drafting the other tight end over Dalton Schultz? Not
Uh,
Shoemaker.
no, because it was Shoemaker and Hendershot. I think there was an overlap year with Ferguson and Schultz, and it was Ferguson that you want, or Ferguson you wanted, or yeah, I don't know.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I'm pissing me
That
off.
well, the analogy holds true because it would be similar to the Green Bay situation right now.
Correct. That's what I'm trying to allude to.
Yeah.
Like if it's that situation, I'm broke because I've got so much Musgrave. But it's very similar to
Just remember
that.
you
Oh, you know
dug
who
your
it
own
was? I found
Musgrave.
it.
You dug your
Found
own
it.
Musgrave, buddy.
It was Blake Jarwin.
There you go. Nailed it.
We
Well
were
done.
drafting Blake Jarwin over Dalton
Right.
Schultz.
Yeah, because Blake Jarwin was coming back from like a broken leg or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was coming back from injury, but he was the guy before the injury. And then, yeah, good one.
That would suck.
Yeah. Yeah, Gavin Escobar was there. We're getting some true sicko stuff in the back here. Here's a good one from Andrew. Brevin Jordan as kind of like handcuffy for Schultz in Houston. We've seen Brevin Jordan have some nice games. Yeah, interesting stuff. Nez, we got a couple minutes here. I was gonna just read the team and then get out of here. I want to do a rapid fire. Don't even think about it. Just say it out loud. Pete did a video yesterday for the Deposit Kingdom. Go check it out. It's very cool. He said his favorite pick from every single round. He gave some very good insight as to why he liked those. And then he said it wasn't like a roster construction exercise. It was just simply who is your favorite pick in that round and put it together. You ready to do this rapid fire when I have the draft board up here?
Okay, let's do it.
Do you want to go first or second on each of these rounds?
I'll go second.
Okay. Round 1, Justin Jefferson.
That's yours?
Yep.
Bijan
Robinson for Nez. That was a layup. Round 2, Drake London.
Deebo Samuel.
Okay. Round 3, Cooper Kupp.
Kyron Williams.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Round 4, I would say elite quarterback and or elite tight end with like a slash in it. But if I had to pick one isolated player, it would be Josh Jacobs.
That's this is where it gets tough for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Christian Kirk.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
I like this Jags team.
On our remind everybody that on our preview episode, you alluded to the fact that the Jags could score the most touchdowns in fantasy football this year as or I guess in real football this year as one of your hot takes. Okay, round 5. This was why my elite tight end sweet spot. I will say Mark Andrews, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews usually.
I'm gonna say Keenan Allen.
Yeah, he's one of my higher owned wide receivers there too. So that's a good setup too. Round 6 for me right now, it has been DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not sure how to feel about that, but that is currently my round 6.
Yep, Hopkins for me as well.
Wow. Okay, we're in a little bit of lockstep here.
Yeah.
Round 7, man. I'm gonna say JSN. I think JSN is gonna be a big camp riser.
Very nice pick. I'm going to go with either. So this is a little bit of cop out, but I would say CJ Stroud if I have a Texan.
Okay.
Brian Thomas if I need a wide receiver, but really it's a Steeler. It's Najee Harris or Jaylen Warren. This is like my favorite round. Typically.
All right. I respect it. Let's start taking 2 from that round. Like why not?
Yeah.
Round 8 for me has been Zach Moss.
That's a good answer. For me, it's Tyler Lockett.
Okay. Yep. We
or
did fall.
Brooks.
We are Lockett pilled in a big way. Round 9, Tony Redacted.
Yeah, that would be my answer based on exposures as well. Lot of Tony.
Okay. Round 10, I like Dallas Goedert as an emergency, like break glass first tight end, or doubling up on or sorry, like I just like him. Like I missed on that elite tight end window. He's going to be my first here. I like that. So he's kind of like my last of a first tier in my mind. So I end up doing that. But I've been really warming up to Jacoby Myers, man. Just professional ass wide receiver who's going to run number 2 in that offense. That's where I've been going.
Yeah, I think if we're doing this exercise not based on like building the team out of these selections, I'd say Tajay Spears.
Okay. Respect it. Round 11, I know ball, Dontavian. Just kidding. Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy for you. This has quickly become I guess like I'm gonna say Downs. I'm just gonna say Downs. I'm taking a lot more Josh Downs lately.
Okay. Respect it, man. Round 12, man, I wish I had more Nick Chubb in my life, just in general, when we were talking about ceiling outcomes and stuff like that. But it's Rico. It's Rico Dowell for me. The better of the 2 pass catching running backs in my estimation, in quotations. I hope I could see him taking that job. I could see them just being like Zeke's on a low money deal with like basically incentive laden stuff. If things don't break right early, they're trailing, they're not as good, that they just turn to the younger of the 2 who doesn't have a ton of carries in his entire career, dating back all the way to college. So I'm kind of just buying into Rico, fresh legs, late in career explosion. No, like not late in career, but fresher legs later than anticipated, like Raheem Mostert, low volume in the past, breaks out with volume this year.
Yeah, definitely a good pick for me. It's Charbonnet.
Yeah.
You've talked about before, new OC potentially maybe mixing up the usage there. I think we have a chance to see like a Jaylen Warren level rise with Charbonnet over the course of draft season.
Yep, absolutely. Round 13 for me has been TJ Hawkinson. TJ Hawkinson as tight end 2, TJ Hawkinson as tight end 3, TJ Hawkinson as whatever. TJ Hawkinson, I've gone to the well with a little bit too much potentially here.
I've got a lot of Hawkinson. This is I was gonna say Chandler, but I've said a running back like every time. This is more realistically Luke Musgrave for me. I do a lot of Luke Musgrave.
Okay, cool. 15, Jalen McMillions for me. Buying a little bit of that early hype there. Don't think the offense will be quite as good without Canales this year comparative to last, but just buying the potential talent and slight turning over of the age cliff associated with the other 2 wide receivers who are there in front of him. And just kind of betting on the fact that he'll usurp Trey Palmer and be a value.
Yeah, this one for me is Michael Wilson. Love me some Michael Wilson at this range. I think this offense is going to be good. He's, in my opinion, pretty clearly the wide receiver 2 there. I'm very excited on Michael Wilson. We liked his stature. We liked a lot of the underlying stuff with Michael Wilson. A year 2 guy that is not being priced as a year 2 guy playing with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's well put. A year 2 guy. And we've talked about the contract stuff too, where it's like he's the guy who's going to stay there. He's going to be there in the future. They can move on from Zay. They've already moved on from Rondell, like blah, blah, blah. Like it's going to be, they want him to be part of that like 3-4 core that they could run deep there with him, Benson, Marv, and Trey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I guess
totally.
Trey times 2. Trey McBride and Trey Benson.
Yeah.
The double Trey. All right, 16, 17, 18. I don't think we have to go as specific as round by round because these are kind of like all interchangeable and, can kind of do whatever with them. Gino is one for me back in here where it's just like he fits into stacks. Luke McCaffrey, just because of the measurables adjacent to his brother and the family lineage, coupled with the fact that I do a lot of Atlanta stuff. So I use him as like a cheap, discounted late season bring back there, which might be dangerous, pigeonholing my builds a little bit there. But yeah, anyone else you want to name from this back end couple rounds, Des?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely Danny Dimes with Darius Slayton almost routinely when I need an extra stack, and Roshan and Estime right now for me big time. Until we get more news, man, I'm going to be taking a lot of Estime in the 18th. I'm pleasantly surprised he's still there. I mean, I know that there's bodies there, but it's the last breadcrumb that we have, like actionable breadcrumb that we have from a beat reporter before we get training camp. So I'm gonna keep firing away at Estimate in the 18th.
Dude, love it, man. That's fun. Yeah, Nick kind of agreeing with the Jacoby one. Sharps as the contingent upside. Jump Free suggesting the Michael Williams one is sick if he remains healthy. Big if there. Yeah, I agree with this. With Hoham suggesting that Luke could be a big riser given the family crest if he gets some camp hype. That's so true.
Yeah.
Corey saying he's got 40% Foreman so far in these back end rounds there, banking on some early down rushing usage early in the season. That's a heavy one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, fun little exercise inspired by Pete there. All right, Nez, let's tie a bow on it so everybody can go watch ship chasing and Mr. Good Boy can get some lunch here. We did a 3-5-8-2 build where we capitulated and we took a whole bunch of players in which we don't normally take and we put them all together. Not really by design. It just kind of happened by accident. But we did Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Derek Carr, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Ramondre Stevenson, DeAndre Swift for the super stack at an ADP value there, Audric Estime, and then Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Nook, a.k.a. DeAndre Hopkins, Jerry Jeudy, Jahan Dotson, Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Likely. Nez, rank it for me, dog.
I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. It's a really good team.
We're getting fucking B pluses around here.
It's a great team.
Borderline A's around here? Never in my life.
It's a great team. We can't give it a 9. Otherwise, why aren't we drafting these guys more? It's an 8.5. Right. It's a good way. It's a great way to kind of pivot from the usuals that you see on here. We do so much of the usual suspects around here. I think this is a nice way to mix it up and still build a sound team.
Yeah, I love it. And people forget those week 14 buys are going to pay off. Fresh running back legs.
That's right.
Coming into the playoffs, we are going to have such a lead in this pod that it's not even going to matter whatsoever. Some good ones coming in from the chat as well here. Copper Prices saying he's at 33% B-Rob. Jacob told me on the weekend that he really likes Brian Robinson as well, so I'm going to try and mix him in there. Nick thanking us for a nice stream. Appreciate you. Drew doing the same. And Malachi Corley getting some love in the 180s there. Yeah, a little break glass in case of emergency. Backdoor Jets stack available with him. All right, guys, 250 of us still hanging out. Do us a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell, please. And thank you. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, maybe 1 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, Nez, I might have to sneak that one in on you. We will discuss. But just because we got a big baseball slate today, or tomorrow, sorry, 10K up top, including a Coors game. Love to see it. We will be drafting in the active tab for the daily streets for the first time ever. Going to make multi-table drafting even better. And speaking of multi-table drafting, Nez, brand new feature on Underdog. You can enter multiple drafts at the exact same time with one singular click of the button. Fucking chef's kiss, dude. The platform is buzzing. Any final words for the people?
I will see you in the lobbies. I'm going to be in there, though, myself. I'm not auto-drafting, okay? I'm still doing the good old-fashioned click, click, click. So I'll see you in there.
We still need phone shitter bros and hand builders around here to pay the rake. Thank you, Nez.
For the culture. For the culture.
Oh, the push the plane movement is in full effect. If you're not playing on Underdog Fantasy, use promo code MLB at sign up. 50% match deposit up to $250 USD. We are the Badge Bros. That is Nez. I am John. Wait, that is Nez. I am John. And I no longer have to wear adult diapers anymore.
Let's go.
As of today.
Until you get sniped, and then you got to throw that diaper on and piss yourself.
And half the chat is like, what the hell is this guy talking about? All right, everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace. Love y'all.